Yo, back once again. You are now tuned into the underground. My name is Mbaya and I go by the doctor. Okay, so if you're new to this channel and you clicked on this video expecting to see an amazing video, I hope it's going to be that because I finally put this thing to the test. Of course, I'm talking about the Gamma Plus Boosted Shaver. And if you clicked on this video and you've never ever watched any of my videos, I pretty much get in depth and try to show you and tell you whether you need the tool or not. At the end of the day, I usually only use Stylecraft and Gamma Plus, which usually always delivers. They're killing it in the game right now. They're on top in my opinion. None of their tools are a miss. I know they put out quite a bit of tools. I mean, a whole lot, almost every month. But you have to figure out what works for your cutting style and where your skill level is at, because sometimes some tools that you will see that will drop doesn't necessarily mean because they're new you should purchase them. You should actually look into a video such as this review, see how you feel about it, and also sometimes you just got to kind of take a leap of so-called faith and actually purchase the tool to try it for yourself. Here's the thing, you need a lot of these tools that do drop for many different reasons, such as using them in different areas. When it comes to blades, when it comes to foil shavers and stuff like that, you need to know what skin type as a barber will react properly to a specific type of blade, or what kind of hair texture will react a certain way to a specific type of trimmer blade or clipper blade. Now, it's like, for example, when you're using heat on more coarse hair versus straight hair, it's two different reactions, okay? So when it comes to foil shavers, you can have something such as this boosted shaver, which is a double foil shaver, of course. Then when you compare it to something like this Uno 2.0, which I'm going to get into later on in the video, just kind of breaking down why it is relevant to have a single foil shaver. Anyway, yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into this next clip. Need y'all to check this out just to kind of hear how this thing sounds. But speaking of how it sounds, I'll go ahead and just do a test right now so you can actually hear this thing. It's loud, it's not very quiet. It's a shaver. I mean, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some kind of quiet shavers out there, but it's very impossible to find something that's quiet. I won't even put it up to the mic. I'll actually just turn this on real quick. What do y'all think? Is that loud, or it's just like any other shaver, right? Anyway, check this clip out, y'all. Listen to how this thing crunches. Clean, bro. Super clean. I got thrown off for a second. Your joint looks enhanced. Nah, for real. As you heard me say in the video, of course, no enhancements on any of my haircuts, but this price point, the retail is very reasonable. It's a lot better than what's out there. Some of these shavers are ridiculously pricey, but they're worth it. Of course, I can't speak for all the companies other than Stylecraft, and Gamma Plus is usually all I'm using nowadays, like I said. And these are some of the parts that came in this shaver box packaging. You have your thumb part, a hook if you're interested in hooking it, a duster, a screwdriver, and of course a USB-C charger. If you're interested in seeing more about that, check out the review that I did. I will have that linked in the video description below.
Like, it would have been more than your mustache gone. Like, it's like, oh, you would have sued the shit out of me just now. Like, damn. Terrible. All right. Oh, shoot, go ahead, rest me. That is hilarious. Yeah, I almost killed myself in there, man. Like, that is not. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with another texture just so y'all can see that this thing definitely does its job correctly with a more fair skin compared to the last clip that I showed you. There's no welting, no redness. This will not irritate the skin whatsoever. Gamma Plus has guaranteed that, and they have lived up to it. No hype, no exaggeration. With that being said, I need you all to keep in mind that just because
I'm saying that they have guaranteed that and lived up to it does not mean that there's not individuals out there that have a particular specific skin that is very sensitive. No matter what kind of foil shaver you attempt to use on them, they will always be irritated. This is where those super barber powers come in handy. You have to be able to tell, after so much experience of cutting many different textures of hair and skin, who's going to be irritated and react. Some people instantly react to these shavers, and it's a no-go. There was a video that I posted when I first used this foil shaver and highlighted it to the world through a bald fade. Of course, it was on darker skin, and my guy had a nice grade of hair, but somebody commented and said, you're gonna bump him up. And I replied back, that's not going to happen because he doesn't necessarily break out when it comes down to using the foil shaver on him. So I know that for a fact. I cut his hair all the time. Like in this case with my man's right here, he barely breaks out. I don't think I've ever truly really seen a bump on him. Maybe once, twice, which was not even from the shaver or the razor. I mean, I'm just saying, honestly, he can handle the razor behind the back of the beard, below the jawline, all that good stuff. He can handle it anywhere. So some people are just okay with these sharper tools being used on them, and some people not so lucky, you know what I'm saying? So if we're going to talk about performance, this thing has definitely delivered. I'm talking about amazing. It is perfect. I didn't even use both foils all at once. A majority of the time I was just using one side of this thing. And of course that is all thanks to the integrated micro trimmer. Is it a good or bad thing? I think it's an awesome thing. It's a good thing to have that integrated blade. That thing is so awesome and on point because some of those little loose hairs that the trimmer didn't get, your shaver, that integrated micro trimmer blade will go ahead and clip those away for you. Isn't that awesome? I mean, what more can you ask for from a shaver? You know what I'm saying? So look at how smooth this thing leaves the taper right after I get this done. It's polished, it's smooth, just amazing. I mean, you can't even argue. This thing looks enhanced, and like I say, my haircuts are natural. I'm a natural haircut specialist. I don't really frown upon those enhancements. If my clients or customer, whatever the case, is looking for color enhancements, I will provide that for them. Anyway, I'm not going to get too deep on that. All the power to my color enhancement lovers. Look, back to the program here. This thing right here is definitely on point. As you can see, this is one of my picky clients. She is definitely one of my headaches. She loves for me to use this foil shaver all around. If I don't use it, she will check me even when I do use it, talking about, hey, did you use the shaver? And she loves how smooth this thing feels. I think she just appreciates and loves hearing that crunch to the point where it disappears and you no longer can hear any crunch because this thing gets rid of all the hair. And of course, once again, that's all thanks to that integrated micro trimmer. And before I get too ahead of myself, of course I have to talk about my guy here and why he is a perfect example of the Uno 2.0 being perfect for him, because he doesn't really get irritated by the shaver if I do it, but he does tend to shave off his sideburns on his own, and it's something that he's not really honest about, so he gets a reaction that's not so great. I think he overdoes it and burns his skin, which he already has somewhat of a close to sensitive skin type, but it can be taken care of if I do it. Then you have my man's right here who pretty much comes in wolfed out and lets me do my thing. He never walks in with anything tamed. I'm talking about facial hair, all that looks crazy. And the end result for his service or haircut is pretty cool because he has a fun texture to cut, which allows me to get this 3D look. If you are interested in watching how I go about his haircut in particular, I did post it a while ago, so go ahead and go through my videos. You should find it, no problem. Okay, but I know that y'all have seen how this thing performs, what it can do.
Are you going to purchase it? Should you purchase it? With that being said, look, if it was me, I would purchase it. It may be a little pricey for some of you, sure, but there's a lot of shavers that are good out there for under $120, but this is worth $120 because of what it can do. It has the integrated, micro blade or trimmer blade in the middle here. That thing is definitely going to be a game changer. Once you use this thing, you're never going to want to use anything else. And on top of that, the Rebel shaver from Stylecraft, being my favorite right now, is not going to get shelved because I'm somebody that's coming from the 5-star shaver from Wall. So with that being said, the Rebel is almost compatible with that and with price range. If you're familiar with the Finale from the Wall line of shavers, the 5 stars, you have the bump free and all those different ones that are like clones. I was actually just clowning about this on a post from Stylecraft and Gamma Plus. I forget what the name of the barber that did 2 shavers in both hands. He had the Stylecraft Instinct and he had the Gamma Plus Boosted in one hand, and he's going on a bald head, trimming both sides, and he's literally showing that this is the better shaver. Even though the Instinct is priced at $200, it all depends on the texture that you're using this thing on and skin type at the end of the day. But I do know that Gamma Plus slightly has an edge up on Stylecraft in my opinion. I don't know about y'all be the judge, but Stylecraft, Gamma Plus, same thing, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And like I said in the beginning of this video, you have to pick your tools based on what your cutting style is. You just can't be breaking the bank because something's new and shiny. I say this all the time. You can have all the tools, but at the end of the day, it's about who is using them. If you know that you lack a certain skill set, for example, with using the shaver, this can be a little tricky having the 2 foil shavers, so you may create lines or guidelines that will cause you having to blend out by bringing the trimmer back out and fixing stuff. If you don't know how to use the double foil, that's where having a single comes in handy. But at the end of the day, it's also about being able to improvise while you're servicing somebody's haircut. You need to be able to know how to use one side of the foil or both sides at the same time. And if you saw me in the video, I was using this thing kind of upside down on certain areas. It's because I was focusing on just using this top part of the foil versus using both of them. And when I'll do this way, when the logos and stuff is facing up, I'll make sure it's angled with this. Talk about this later on, just to kind of show why it is important to know how to use your foil shavers. I haven't done any major detailed foil shaver reviews because I don't get too analytical trying to use these big words to lose y'all, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you know what I'm talking about and everything's straightforward. But that being said, this is definitely worth $120 almost, or $119.95. So it's worth it because there's a long way that most foil shavers have come, and we have reached a level that I can only imagine how high they can go. And for example, we have things such as the Instinct, which I haven't been given a try. I've just kind of seen it being used, and that thing looks amazing actually. Anyway, y'all keep on watching these next clips and let me know what you think in the comment section. Will you purchase this in September, or will you just kind of wait it out for a different shaver, or stick to what you're using right now? What are you using? Are you using anything Gamma Plus, Stylecraft? Are you using Babyliss maybe? Is it Wall that's your favorite? Are you using maybe even TPOB? What are you using? Let me know in the comment section. What's the best shaver out in the game right now? Gamma Plus has one.
All right, so we see what 11,000 RPM can do, right? Which is of course the Gamma Plus Boosted. Now, when it comes to something smaller, in a smaller package such as this Uno 2.0, this is 9,000 RPM. Pretty high, and this thing definitely delivers. It does what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to show you on my guy here, who I will be using the both of them on him. because in certain areas where I need to cover more ground, I'm going to show you. But for example, right here, I had to angle the shaver quite a bit awkward so I can avoid touching his nose. I can easily push back or pull on the nose upward, but this is where the Uno comes in handy. Like, you can use this shaver comfortably underneath that jawline or behind the back of the beard as well, but some awkward positions or spots, you're better off using a single foil shaver, which is very ideal. I'm telling you, for what is it, $65 to $70 almost, you need to get a single foil shaver. It doesn't matter what brand, but I do recommend that you try out the Uno 2.0. Stylecraft definitely did a thing. I mean, these two companies, when it comes to Gamma Plus and Stylecraft, are so innovative. I know people shade them so much right now, and they're always trying to find something to pick apart about these two companies just to down them in some way, which is so crazy. I have never seen a full-out attack on a company such as this. Everyone's talking about how they copy this and copy that. Well, if they're copying, guess what? They're improving all these other companies' tech, and they're doing so much better with all of everything that's out there already. Their stuff lasts so much longer. You know what I'm saying? Their stuff is a lot better when it performs. For example, the Gamma Plus Evo Mister, that Nano Mister, there's nothing like it on the market. Everybody's machines spit out the liquid. I'm telling you the truth because I've tried quite a few before I actually got into these misters from Gamma Plus, because every barber that I know, I see what they're using. I look around, even locally with my, colleagues, I see what they're using, and a lot of their machines tend to always spit out a bunch of liquid. There's no pure mists that's literally doing what it needs to do, is dispense a mist out there, other than the Gamma Plus Evo Nano Mister. And if you don't know about that Gamma Plus Evo Nano Mister, look it up. I will also have that linked in this video description below for those of you who are interested. I have plenty of reviews. I'm actually going to do a follow-up review reviewing all three of the Nano Misters that are out right now, from the gold to the black and of course the white, because they do perform slightly different. And back to the shaver, you see how I'm angling the shaver as I use one side of the foil? You see that? This is exactly what I'm talking about. You can just use one side of the shaver. You don't have to necessarily use both sides. If you do, you're kind of leaning more towards where you're going to feed that trimmer, that integrated trimmer, that micro trimmer in the middle to cut the hair. But anyway, I'm making sure that I cover overall most of all the textures. I did get attacked in the comment section on one of my videos talking about you need to post all the textures, talking about you need to post all the, excuse my language, the nappy headed people, nappy clients. It's like, yo, okay, I got you, no problem, that's cool, we can do that, no problem. I mean, I don't have a ton of those though. That's the crazy thing. A lot of my clients don't really have an extreme coarse hair. As you can see, most of all the people that I post, and for the most part, there's also some people that are very insecure about me recording them, so I tend to only have a specific amount of people that I'm going to be able to post, due to them consenting on posting them or not, or recording them to begin with. Look at that, sharp, clean. Again, remember, no enhancements. This is a free-handed natural haircut with using only Gamma Plus tools. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and for those of you who are looking for a new shaver, hopefully that was insightful. So share this video, follow me on all my different platforms, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll catch y'all on the next one.